Mr. Hill. All right. So this is, and Mr. Hill, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Rodney Lamont Hill. We have two files, 22-21189FH and 22-21190FH. This is the date and time set for sentencing in this matter. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Malaro, Ms. Adams sent you the pre-sentence report on June 13th of 23. Did you receive that?
I did, Judge.
All right. Mr. Hill, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Hill, are you satisfied with your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Malaro regarding the pre-sentence report?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Malaro, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
No, Your Honor.
Does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect?
Not to my knowledge, Judge.
All right, the probation department has computed the minimum sentencing guidelines on file number 22-21190FH to be 7 to 23 months. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines?
I do not dispute it, Judge.
All right. And the other file 22-21189FH was a misdemeanor, so there are no guidelines. Mr. Malaro, do you wish to say anything on behalf of the client?
I would, Your Honor, with respect to the recommendation, I understand that's the probation department's recommendation, but on a misdemeanor, there's, I think, only a 2-year probationary period, but my notes say that there'd be no upfront jail and or prison, and that I don't remember if it was a Killebrew or a Cobb, but that Mr. Hill would be given only 12 months probation. Given that was the plea agreement, we'd ask the court to follow that. Mr. Hill, although has certainly a history with the courts here, he's always comported himself appropriately before the court. He's always appeared, always while on probation, taking care of the obligations that this court has placed on him. In this particular case, he conducted himself in a manner to efficiently and appropriately seek a resolution in cooperation with the authorities. And so, Judge, I think a 12-month probationary period for Mr. Hill, for him to get these matters squared away and taken care of, would be our request in proportion with the plea agreement. Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Malaro, my notes, I do have a note that said 12 months probation, so I do have that. And that was a Killebrew agreement with the prosecutor's office. All right, Mr. Hill, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
No, ma'am.
All right, so in determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been set upon the record at this hearing, the criteria and reasons for the sentence, and the nature and gravity of the offense. The discipline appropriate to its commission, the deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for the law and the protection of society. Mr. Hill, it's a sentence of the court that on each file, you'll be sentenced to a term of probation of 12 months. We will give you credit for time served on both files of 8 days already served. There is a 75 on file number 22-21189FH. There is a $75 crime victim rights fee, $50 in state costs. My other little thingy. Is a use of cocaine. So there is a $300 fine. It's much cheaper to get a felony than a misdemeanor. So a $300 fine, $75 crime victim rights fee, $50 in state costs. And on file number 22-21190FH, which is the felony file, you'll be sentenced to a term of probation of 12 months. There was Killebrew to no jail term. I'll give you credit for 8 days already served. On that file, there is $750 in court costs, $450 attorney fee, $130 crime victim rights fee, $68 in state costs. You are not, as a term of your probation, to use or possess any controlled substances without permission of the probation department, and that would only be for prescription medication. You can't engage in any assaultive, abusive, threatening, or intimidating behavior, not to use any object as a weapon, submit to search and seizure, including your residence, your car, your computer, your phone, without need of warrant, report any arrest or police contact, loss of employment, or change of residence within 24 hours. Do you have a valid driver's license, Mr. Hill?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Moore, I don't think there's a license suspension involved in these charges. So can I ask about the motor vehicle clause?
Me just requesting that he shows that the license is valid. I thought, I just asked if I put those on there that they bring and show me their driver's license.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Hill, you must provide proof of a valid driver's license to Mr. Moore. You must pay, let's see, we did $60 state cost, $60 DNA fee, $138 crime victim. Okay, and then there's a supervision fee in the amount of $30 per month without a tether, $60 if they require you to wear a tether. There's $450 in court appointed attorney fees, $750 in court costs. I don't think I forgot anything else, Mr. Moore.
No, just Mr. Hill, that I'll need to see him. We'll say 3 o'clock on July 11th, 3 p.m.
So Mr. Hill, can you come see Mr. Moore on July 11th at 3 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Hill, I don't want your address on the record, but do you still live on Elm Street?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Hill, we are going to mail to you 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review, 1 for each file. So you're going to get a total of 6. And 2 of them are going to have it highlighted or flagged for you to initial and date. And in that envelope will also be a self-addressed stamped envelope addressed to me. So initial and date the 2 in there. Put them back in the envelope that already has a stamp on it and put it on in your mailbox or drop it off at the post office. And that's your notice of right to appellate review. And if you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the other paperwork and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days. So do you have any questions, Mr. Hill?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hill, I wish you the best of luck, and make sure you come in to see Mr. Moore on July 11th at 3 p.m. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Right, I'm ready for Mr. Bice, but we are waiting. Mr. Fleming just walked out, so
Judge, if I may speak,
you may speak.
I saw you had Bush Paulding in. Are we doing his pickup with you or?
Well, okay, so in the matter of Melissa Marie Dunbar versus Bush Lee Paulding III, file number 2004-27223 DS. it's my understanding Mr. Paulding is also being arraigned this morning on numerous felony charges, Mr. Malaro.
That's correct, Judge. It's a contempt, I think.
If you could what?
It's a contempt charge for not appearing in Judge Olsaver's court.
All right, does he have new pending charges?
I think I read in the paper he might have, but I don't. Not
Well, I
sure.
think he was on the jail list today. Mr. Paulding, are you being arraigned in district court today?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I'm not sure, Your Honor.
All right, let me look. Let me see if I can pull up the jail list. Hold on a second. Thought I saw him, but maybe it was here. Here's my jail sheet. All right, so I show Bush Lee Paulding. Oh, felony warrant, explosives, manufacturing, possessing, third-degree arson, and a bench warrant for failure to appear for Judge Olsaver. So, Mr. Malaro, does he have new pending felony charges?
It appears he does, Judge.
He does or he doesn't?
He does. It appears that he does.
All right. So, Ms. Stevenson, do you wish to proceed on this today?
I would leave that up to you, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Paulding, we are here today on a failure to appear and a failure to pay child support. Mr. Paulding, you have an arrearages only case and an arrearage of $10,797. You appeared with Ms. Underwood back on April 11th and were ordered to pay $300 by April 14th and $100 every month thereafter. You made one payment on April 17th and no other payments. We adjourned the show cause to June 12th and you failed to appear. Have you, Mr. Malaro, are you on Mr. Paulding's case in front of Judge Olsaver?
Yeah, Judge, I'm assigned to the currently pending felony. If he has new felonies, I imagine I would have those as well.
I don't see that he's being arraigned on new ones, so it must be just the ones in front of Judge Olsaver. So you're gonna appear with him this morning in front of Judge Olsaver?
That is correct.
All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is set this to the end of my calendar and you can take care of Mr. Paulding in front of Judge Olsaver and then let us know what happens on that, okay?
Sure.
Okay, all right, Mr. Paulding, just let him know I'll see you later this morning, but you have to appear in front of Judge Olsaver this morning, all right?
Okay,
All right, thank you, Mr. Paulding.
thank you.
Thank you. He already has prior contempt on that, Ms. Stevenson, so if he's gonna be in jail a long time, like.
Absolutely. Understand.
Okay, so I have somebody on a device who's not connected. All right, Mr. Murphy's gone. No, Mr. Murphy, did you find Mr. Tyndall?
Yes, Your Honor, he said he was logging on, so that may be him on that unknown device.
Okay. Mr. Dagger-Margosian, did you find Miss Swift?
Negative, Your Honor.
All right, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Carrie Ann Swift, file number 22-21079FH, and Michael Dagger-Margosian appearing on behalf of Miss Swift. This is the date and time set for sentencing. It was scheduled in person. I do not see Miss Swift in my courtroom. Mr. Dagger-Margosian, I appreciate your valiant effort to try to reach her and going to issue a bench warrant for her arrest. Let me see here. 1 second. She did not, well, I don't even, yes. Let's see if she reported here. Let's see. I don't understand because she was traveling back and forth. She was testing. She went to the pre-sentence report. All right, I'm gonna issue a bench warrant for her arrest and set bond in the amount of 25,000 cash surety. Mr. Dagger Margosian, if you reach her, let me know, because I'll hold the warrant for a couple days.
I'll let you know, Your Honor. What I may suggest, because the recommendation is simply fines and costs, would you consider having the amount of the bench warrant be the amount of the fines and costs that you would have ordered? And then if it's posted, it's completed at that point.
Okay, so it would be, hold on, we can do that. So it would be 75, 50, 100. She pled to something to do some methamphetamine. So I think it would be a $300 fine. So it'd be 4, 5, 25. A set bond in the amount of 2,500 or 525 cash. I'm sorry.
And
525.
thank you, Your Honor. And in the meantime, if I do get a hold of her, I'll certainly let the court know and try to.
Okay, so we'll set bond as cash bond of $525. If someone knows her, let her know, because she did well, so I'm surprised she's not here today. All right, thank you, Mr. Dagger Margosian. All right, I have a gentleman joining me via Zoom. What's your name, sir? All right, you cannot hear me. So I'm gonna send the chat message. Can you hear me?
That's Cavani, Tyndall.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, good. I can hear you now. All right, Mr. Tyndall, thank you. So, Mr. Murphy, I got Mr. Tyndall. So, hold on a second.
Oh, Miss Angelo?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you remember, but when we set this date, I told you it was my son's birthday. I honestly I've been up since early. I was calling in. I couldn't get the number. I had the wrong number, and I had to call my Mr. Murphy's office to get the right number. But I promise you, I've been way up before 8:15. I've been trying, and I surprised him this morning for his birthday. But I've been trying to get in. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Mr. Tyndall. I appreciate it. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Cavani Tyndall, file number 21-20422FH. I am Matthew Murphy, appearing on behalf of Mr. Tyndall. Mr. Tyndall, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Yeah.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss that with Mr. Murphy?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Murphy as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Definitely. And like I told him yesterday, man, Mr. Murphy is a good attorney, and I recommend him to anybody. He really did. He really helped me out, and I really appreciate him. Y'all need more of him. Like y'all need more Mr. Murphys out there.
Yes, we do. All right. Well, it's nice. I appreciate you saying nice things, because a lot of times attorneys don't get to hear nice things. And we have a lot of public defenders that work really hard, and I appreciate you responding that way. All right, Mr. Murphy.
I really appreciate him. I know him by being a public defender. It's hard to get to get to everybody, but he stayed informed with me. We've been doing this for 2 years, but he kept me up to date and been there and let me know what's going on and stuff like that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tyndall.
Thank you.
All right, I don't know what this is. I think that's okay. All right, Mr. Murphy, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information in the pre-sentence report?
No, Your Honor.
Does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor, no.
All right. Mr. Moore computed the minimums, that's the guidelines. Let me get there. Well, I guess they are 2 to 17 months. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Murphy, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Tyndall before the court passes sentence?
Yes, Your Honor. In regards to this case, I understand that this case is fairly old. Now, Mr. Tyndall, when he first came into contact with me in regards to this case, we were trying to get it resolved. As far as I can recall, really, there wasn't much communication with the prosecutor's office and trying to get a plea worked out. The reason I'm bringing this up to Mr. Tyndall wanted to take responsibility for this case a while ago. He wasn't trying to avoid it or anything like that, but I know the case took a long time. He understands what he did in the situation. Obviously, he had some cocaine on him. It was for his personal use. He was at his sister's house. He had just arrived there. And I understand, from the police report, this encompassed a rhino investigation involving a lot of other individuals. And I think the raid was stemmed from another individual going to the house. Now, Mr. Tyndall, obviously, again, he accepts, he understands, he deeply regrets what had happened in regards to him having the narcotics on him. He understands the reason why they're illegal, that you can lose your life with an addiction in regards to these things. He definitely understands, again, why it's illegal and what happened. But I would ask the court to take into consideration, again, the length of time he's been on bond. He has been trying to get the things moving forward in his life. He does have a record. He was on parole. So we're asking the court to consider. Obviously, we have an agreement with the prosecution that jail wouldn't be appropriate in the matter. And again, I'd ask the court to uphold that. Because again, I believe in this matter, definitely incarceration up front is inappropriate. Obviously, if Mr. Tyndall was to violate any probationary period, he understands that he's looking at incarceration for that violation. But ask the court to consider maybe a year of probation or something to that effect. I understand the recommendation is for 3. I just don't, again, obviously, it's just my opinion. I don't see the need to have Mr. Tyndall on 3 years of probation. I do believe that he's going to do well. He understands that any violation, you look at incarceration. He understands that, any length of time that you order, whether it's, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, he's looking at a period of incarceration of possibly a year right away at the beginning of it. So I'd ask the court to consider maybe a year of probation to begin with. Obviously, it can be extended if the court deems it necessary, I believe, but I don't believe it would be necessary. But again, Mr. Tyndall, I believe moving forward, he understands, that he needs to perform well. He needs to do all the things that are ordered on probation. And I do believe that moving forward, he's going to make the changes in his life, excuse me, that are necessary, Your Honor. So that's what we're asking the court to consider. Again, we're just asked the court, he's been on bond now for quite a while. So yes, that's all we're going to ask for, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Tyndall, when you're talking, stay still, because what I find is if we move our head like this, the sound goes in and out. So Mr. Tyndall, it's okay, I move all the time too. So Mr. Tyndall, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Definitely. First of all, I do want to apologize, just to the community, being out here doing things that I'm doing. I know I ain't been the best representative of that. I mean, there's nothing that I can say to justify.
So, Mr. Tyndall, we're losing you. We're losing you. So stay still and speak a little bit louder for me, okay?
Yes. There's nothing that I can say to justify what I did. I was wrong. I take responsibility for that. And like I said, I've been here. I've been going through this a long time. I've been waiting for this to get over for almost 2.5 years. It's been holding me back. Like I said, I take responsibility for everything I did. But just kind of been holding back, and this probation stuff is just it's just it's affecting how I can move around and better myself. And but other than that, I just want to say I need to do better, and I know I can do better. And I'm just asking I'm thankful for this next opportunity.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tyndall. All right, in determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been said upon the record at this hearing. The criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for law and protection of society. Mr. Tyndall, it's a sentence of the court that you'll be placed on probation for a period of 2 years. Or order that you serve 1 year in jail, but I'll give you with credit for 0 days served. But that jail term will be suspended. But if you violate your probation, understand you'll serve that year in jail. You'll pay $750 in court costs, $450 in attorney fees, $130 crime victim rights fee, $68 state costs. There's a $60 DNA fee and $30 per month supervision fee. And then if you have to be on a tether, it's $60 per month supervision fee. You're not on parole right now, right?
Yeah, I am on parole. I couldn't get off parole because of this case.
All right, will you be getting off parole now?
Yeah, because I had to wait to get off. Like it's literally been holding me up for 2 years because they couldn't release me because I had a pending case. But when I get this done, yeah, I'll be just yes.
Okay, all right. During your term of probation, let me look at something. All right, during the term of your probation, I'm not going to order the alcohol clause. During your term of probation, you're going to be required to do drug testing. You're not to use any illegal controlled substances. You must not have any controlled substances. You're not supposed to have any paraphernalia, not to be anybody that has them. You must comply with all treatment and counseling as recommended by Mr. Moore. Not engage in any assaultive, abusive, threatening, or intimidating behavior. Do you live with anybody that has felony record?
No.
Okay, good. All right, not to live with anybody with felony record. And let's see. You must submit to search and seizure of your person and property, include your house, your car, computer, your phone. Report any loss of employment, police contact, arrest, or change of residence to the probation department within 24 hours. Not to hang out with anybody that has felony record. Mr. Tyndall, how old are you now? You're 35.
Yes.
I remember when you were just a baby. Aren't you getting tired of this?
Definitely get tired of this. I mean, minus this case that I just caught, I have been in trouble since 2015.
Okay. All right. Now you do have the right to appeal this sentence. I'm going to mail to you your notice of right to appellate review. In that envelope you're going to get from me, there'll be 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review in a self-addressed stamped envelope. I need you to initial and date the copy that's marked for you to do that. Fold it up, put it in the envelope I provided with the stamp on it, and put it on the mailbox and send it back to me. The other 2 copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out the information on the form and mail it to the address listed on the form within 42 days. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Moore, instructions for him to report?
Yes, he's scheduled to report July 6th to Agent Face, and at that point, we'll do the orientation on that day.
All right. So, Mr. Tyndall, good luck. And I'll hopefully not see you again, except maybe in the hall when I wake. All right. Bye, Mr. Tyndall.
Thank you, Mr. Tyndall. Have a good day. If you have any questions, call my office, okay?
Thank you. Thank you also, Mr. Murphy, too, man. Like I said, man, I really appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Tyndall. I
You guys have a
appreciate it.
nice day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a
All
good day.
right, so you're still left with Bice. I told you, see, it just never works out. So as soon as the prosecutor comes back, we can take care of Bice.
Judge, did we push David Silva's case?
We adjourn that to August 11 at 8:15.
Thank you.
I got
think
Miss
that-
Holly in here.
Okay, I think that's.
I think it's her case, right? Oh,
Was that?
Bice.
Silva- Mine. My case.
Okay,
All right.
so, I don't know how to reach Mr. Fleming, but Miss Adams, if you can call around and see if we can locate Mr. Fleming, we can take care of that one. I'm gonna step off the bench for a moment so my staff can take a break.
You might be down, Mr. Judge Sable's court.
This never works out. I never have everybody in the room at the same time, so.
How you doing today? Doing good. This is not unusual. I was here 2 weeks ago, twice. Waiting for the same thing. It's not down there.
Well, yeah, I already checked also, we're gonna be, yeah. I guess I can't.
Brian's got a hearing going on, so. This is down in the district.
Hi. How are you?
You must be Sue.
Yes, I just got
Steve
your
Rosenberg.
email. Hi, Steve. Nice to meet
I have hard copies for you. And I have a hard copy for the judge, which I'm gonna have to mark as the judge's copy.
you. Okay.
So I didn't know who to send it to, so I sent it to you and I thought, oh, I better send it to Sierra as well.
Sarah or the judge?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyhow,
All
as long
right.
as we have it and
Sure, you can, I can.
and I'll show you how they were marked. And unfortunately, I don't think they always mark. They always mark.
That's
You see,
okay.
But
Yeah.
most of them did, but I think when I photocopied it, some of them,
Okay. All right.
it's like where
So you did a good job.
I tried.
That's a lot to do. I appreciate it. And I see you scanned them all, so
Yeah,
send them to me. All right.
yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it.
Nice to finally meet you.
You too. Thanks. Restitution. Okay.
All right, Jeff, I'm sending you. Go to district court, look in Judge Will Savers.
I was in Judge Will Savers.
Go downstairs,
Go down.
district court,
All right.
find them. I just gotta get them all in the same room at one time. I had him, but I didn't have the prosecutor or the.
Wheels of justice.
Okay.
It's been very, very slow.
I know.
I was here 2 weeks ago, twice.
Yeah.
I showed up at 8:15, signed on the
And then
door,
at 10 o'clock.
and then 10 o'clock. No, I'm like, sit here since 8:10 this morning.
And she said the victims couldn't be here, that's why I got adjourned today. But
Well, there's,
nobody else is gonna be here.
I know. It was- I said, they weren't coming from the gate.
I know.
Isn't it your son? Your
My
son and his girlfriend or his
Yeah,
friend?
so in my house,
Yeah,
my son and his girlfriend,
his girlfriend.
and so they, but we never got contact, right? Just, she did.
You guys got my letter though, right? That victim's impact statement?
If we wanted to fill out.
Yeah,
anything, yeah,
yeah.
no, I know.
Okay. Yeah.
So are you the victim's advocate? Is that
Oh, no, I'm a probation officer.
the probation, okay.
Yeah. Yes, usually the victim's advocate is here always. So I don't know what's going on with them today.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people.
That day,
2 weeks
yeah.
ago, and I'm just like.
It was a mess. Yeah, I remember that. It was a lot. Every time I think there's like not much going on, I have like one thing, so I assume there's not much going on. I come over here and there's a bunch going on.
Yeah. Yeah, he was sitting there, came back and talked to me, sat down.
Yeah. Yeah, he came in here. And then I don't know what happened to him. I don't know his cell phone number.
Yeah, just ready to go.
Yeah. And I guess the defendant must be.
Oh, jeez. I got to play the first story. She's watching it. She's everything you say is live.
Oh, it's still on? Oh, it is. I see it.
Was there a different prosecutor last time?
Yep.
So they just bounce around?
Yeah, yeah.
They all kind of share cases?
Yeah, I wonder who did the plea.
It was a woman.
It was Phoebe.
Yeah,
That's who was here that day, last day.
on Zoom.
Then she came in, she was here in person at 10. She had other stuff.
Oh, that was her, okay.
That was her.
Oh, that was his defense attorney, I think was the one also.
No, he's got a mail.
Something that was straight.
Yeah, it was a female, it's a plea, and she was the one here last time.
So they just kind of bounce around.
Yeah, whoever's available.
They all are up to date on the cases and whatever.
Yeah. I think he was here in person at 10 o'clock.
Last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was up early this morning.
Hi. Just coming in here to see info I can tell from you. What's going on this morning?
You need it for me too. I got
He's
this
like-
too, Baker.
He's bored. He's like, don't you need something from me? I think it's just this one sentence we got, Bice.
Oh, okay.
I think it's it, because I think she's done everything else. So
Okay.
she's waiting for, Fleming was here, wait.
Yeah, Fleming
Yes.
was here and he's gone
And then he's
now.
gone, now they can't find him. So
He ran away. I feel like running away every day at this job.
Can you sit in for him?
Yeah, no, I'm
She's on the wrong side.
I'm defense attorney down there
She's on the
before.
wrong side of the bench.
It also depends if he's child molester or something, then I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Then I'd do that.
Then you go.
Or if he stole money from people, or if he hurts people, then I just. No, I do, 99% family law.
Yeah.
I do, that's what I have today.
That's how you can stand it.
It goes on and on. I figured out a couple of years ago that you can take out, I always knew this, but I didn't realize it, that at 59 and a half, you can take out your retirement without a penalty. So I'm laser focused on that age. Now, but that is what I'm going to be doing.
I know,
I told my husband he needs to adjust his lifestyle because he'd be the only one working, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be doing other things. So get working, figure out what you're doing. Here's that drug court trade meeting. Okay.
I can't find him. Not in district, he's not in probate. I went up to the
I
office,
wonder,
the prosecutor's office, and she's gonna text him. So,
okay.
And Phoebe's not down there, must be, 'cause she's usually the one who does this case.
hopefully they'll find him.
Put my stuff in here, and then the judge has to check this. It's weird that he just disappeared. That's very strange. Especially if he's already here for 7 days.
Now there's some coffee.
Oh my gosh, everyone's looking for you.
I told them where I was at.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
You did not.
I
You did
did.
not. You did not.
I was downstairs.
Well, they've been searching for you everywhere.
Of course they have.
He's here. I was just gonna text Becky.
Somebody put the, all points bulletin on for me.
Yeah. What it seems to be. Can't hide anywhere, Chris.
Apparently.
The only way to get your cat.
All right.
It's been a good thing you guys showed up this morning. Courts in St. Louis.
Fine.
Not a shame.
All right, Ms. Van Duzen, I actually have everybody in the same room right now, so I'm excited. Seems like when you were here, Ms. Van Duzen popped next door and wasn't able to get everybody all at once. So Ms. Van Duzen, are you at your device? Mr. Bice, I'm sorry, it's been a busy morning. All right, I'm
It's okay.
just waiting for Miss Van Duzen to. She's there, but she's not. Miss Adams, could you have someone message? Well, do you have her information, Mr. Fleming? Can you text her?
Yes, I just did.
Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, Mr. Bice, I'll pop you in the waiting room.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Judge off the bench.
Hello.
Hello, is Judge off the bench?
That was funny. I thought that was funny. All right, Miss Van Duzen, thank you. All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Tyler James Bice, file number 22-20975FH. I have Don Van Duzen appearing on behalf of Mr. Bice, and I have Christopher Fleming appearing on behalf of the people. I do have one of the victims in the courtroom. It's my understanding he doesn't wish to speak, but he did want to observe. I apologize to everybody that our morning has been so hectic. When I had Miss Van Duzen, I didn't have Mr. Fleming, and when I had Mr. Fleming, I didn't have Miss Van Duzen. And that's kind of the nature of my mornings because of the other 5 courts putting demands on them as well. So, Ms. Van Duzen, I show that you received a copy of the pre-sentence report back on May 25th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, Miss.
All right. Okay. And Mr. Bice, have you had an opportunity to read and review the pre-sentence report?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to discuss the pre-sentence report with Ms. Van Duzen?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with Ms. Van Duzen as your attorney and the advice that she has given you?
I am.
Okay, and I think the record should reflect, we probably have about a 2-second delay with Mr. Bice. All right. Ms. Van Duzen, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any of the information in the pre-sentence report?
No, Your Honor.
Does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exists any known constitutional defect?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Fleming, do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or relevancy of any information?
I do not believe so, Judge.
Okay. The probation department in this matter has computed the minimum sentencing guidelines to be 0 to 6 months. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines, Mr. Fleming?
No objection.
Ms. Van Duzen?
I do.
All right, I do have notes. Okay, are you still at Dawn Farms, Mr. Bice?
I am not.
You're not? Okay. All right, so Ms. Van Duzen, well, actually, I'll start with you, Mr. Fleming. I know that we have a gentleman present in the courtroom, but sir, you told me earlier you've already given your input, but you didn't wish to speak today? Okay. And Mr. Fleming, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of the people?
No, Judge, I believe everything is encompassed within the victim statements that have been previously submitted.
All right. Ms. Van Duzen, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Bice?
Yes, Mr. Bice has been sober since July of 2022. He went to New Vision. He completed, went into transitional housing, obtained job. He is working and he lives with his dad in Holland. He does not plan to put himself back in the situation. I know he is sorry for everything that happened, embarrassed about it. He is making big changes in his life to move forward of trying to conquer this addiction that he has, that he live with for the rest of his life. I know he's not coming back to the area. He does not want to socialize with the same people. And he has started a new life, and he has been continuing his meetings and growing stronger to accomplish this. So we asked the court just to follow the recommendation.
Okay. Mr. Bice, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
Pretty much that. I'm very sorry. What I did doesn't reflect who I am, and I am very much trying to change direction, and just, like she said, conquer this. And you know, I'm sorry doesn't say enough. I'm just trying to show that I am sorry and that I will not put myself in any situation further to behave in a manner that is not the way I was raised or that I see acceptable.
Okay. Now, Mr. Bice, you had stated that you had forgotten to take your medication before this event occurred. Are you currently on your medication?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. And you did acknowledge what you did was wrong, and you did apologize in your statement in the PSI. All right. Anything else, Mr. Bice?
I don't believe so, Your Honor, not off top of my head.
All right, in determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of the offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the sentencing guidelines, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what has been set upon the record at this hearing. The criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, the potential for reformation, vindication for the law, and protection of society. So, Mr. Bice, what you did was positively horrifying to the young girl that this event occurred in front of. I mean, I'm sure it's going to impact her for the rest of her life. And it's a serious thing. You know, you have a prior felony from very, very long ago that you got HIDA on. But it's really important that you understand that the only medication you should be taking is your mental health medication. You can't consume alcohol. You can't use illegal controlled substances because it's clear that you were out of control and someone could have been hurt. You could have been shot. I mean, a parent, if they had a gun, probably would have shot you if you picked up their daughter and ran with them. So, I mean, this is really serious. So I hope, and I'm glad to see that you're taking your mental health and your treatment extremely seriously. So I do appreciate that. It's a sentence of the court that you'll be placed on probation for a period of 3 years. During that term of probation, well, I'll give you credit for 71 days. During that term of probation, you are not to use or possess any alcohol. You can't hang out in bars. You can't hang out at parties where everybody's drinking, so there's no temptation. You can't use any controlled substances at all. If you're on mental health prescriptions, that means you also can't smoke marijuana, and I know it's legal, but no. So you must use your prescription drugs as prescribed. You must complete a substance abuse assessment if necessary. I'm pretty sure you already had one done. You must complete any mental health, domestic violence, any other programs recommended by the probation department. You can't use or possess a weapon. You have to submit to search and seizure of your person and property. That could be your phone, your car, your home, your computer. They don't need a warrant if they have reasonable cause to believe you have violated the conditions of your probation. Not to have any contact with the Danleys or Taylor Carson. And I recognize that you left the county, which is probably a good idea, starting away from any bad influences. You can't contact them directly through another person, can't be within 500 feet of their residence, school, or place of employment. You must maintain employment. There is a $68 state cost for the felony. There is a $50 state cost for the misdemeanor. There's a crime victim assessment fee in the amount of $130. Supervision fee of $30 per month if you don't need a tether, but if we decide you need a tether, it would be $60 per month. There's court costs in the amount of $750. Court-appointed attorney fees in the amount of $450, and there's a $60 DNA fee. Ms. Holly, am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so.
Other than that, you must obey and comply with all the articles or all the provisions in your articles of probation. Now, Mr. Bice, I'm going to need to, do you have an address for him, Ms. Holly?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so Mr. Bice, in a minute, I'm gonna get a valid address for you, but first I wanna say you do have the right to appeal this sentence, and we're going to mail to you 3 copies of your notice of right to appellate review. 1 copy you're gonna mail back to us in the self-addressed stamped envelope we provided to you. Just put it in the mailbox. If you're at a facility in their general mail, that's fine. The other 2 copies are for you. If you wish to appeal your sentence, you would fill out information on the form and mail it to